Hi everyone, it's Infinite Irene, and today I want to talk about all things money, abundance, manifestation, and just bringing more prosperity into your life in general. And I've been talking about in my past videos how God paid off my car, and God just brought in another big blessing coming into me. And I'm like, wow, I'm manifesting tens of thousands of dollars. Like I'm co-creating with God right now. And it just feels so good. And so I want to talk to you guys about that and this new course that I am so excited about creating and bringing you guys into the fold and into this momentum. So, okay, first, God paid off my car, right? And that was just like, oh, like it just felt like, wow, like I'm just really exercising faith. And it just shows that once you do the inner work, like the inner work works, and then God compounds it, right? Like you doing the internal work. And I talk a lot about mindset and things, right? But it's like you doing the internal work, the spiritual, the mental, the nervous system work, and being able to hold money, hold abundance, hold love, hold attention, and not waver in your faith, like that is something that you can practice and exercise. It's not something that is for other people or this is some special type of thing. Like we all know about like the manifestation books and even things that the Bible says about like money and abundance and prosperity and God's provision. It's like it's not just for those other people. And I think really embodying that over the past few years and allowing my brain to see abundance, see money, see prosperity, see opportunities where other people aren't is what has allowed me to, I feel like, be in this moment and just be calling in tens of thousands of dollars. Like, I'm actually shocked, right? So, I want to first start by talking about the brain, right? Because I love mindset, so I always want to start there. And I feel like this is the easiest way for, people who are very in the mental plane for them to understand it. And then I can get more into the like the nervous system, the body, the embodiment work, and like, kind of more the spiritual part of manifestation. And like, manifestation is literally bringing things that are in the spiritual, desire in your heart, a vision in your mind and bringing it into reality, right? Bringing it into the 3D, bringing it into the physical. And I just want to start this by saying also, a lot of people say that they don't care about money. They aren't materialistic. They don't care about, manifesting. They're simple people. They don't really want much. Um, but I call bullshit. And I'm gonna just say that because a lot of people, most people of the population are exchanging time, their life force energy, their life for money. They're spending 8 hours, 12 hours a day on jobs that I don't know, are is life sucking or is sucking their creativity out of their body, or maybe they're they're using their creativity, but it's not for something that they're completely passionate about. And so it's like you can't say that you don't care about money when you exchange your life for it, right? And also, God knows that we care about money, right? The Bible, Jesus, they've talked about money. They know what we care about. And even if you think about the what do you call it, the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right? Like we know that we need to feel safe and to self-actualize and even think about the kingdom, think about God, think about heaven, think about all these things. We need to be covered in feeling safe and having the base foundational things covered, right? Shelter, food, water, and also not being bogged down by debt. The borrower is the slave to the lender, right? So it's like not feeling like your back is against the wall all the time. It's like it's hard to think about spiritual things. It's hard to think about legacy, long-term things when we're worried about money, when we're worried about how we're going to feed our family, when we're worried about how are we going to pay off all of this like student loan debt, right? It's like hard to self-actualize and think about all the other things that God might want us to think about, right? Like the kingdom and spiritual things and giving back and all of those different things. Like getting to that place, you need to make sure that you're um, establishing all the foundational things first in order to create safety in your body, in your mind, and allow you to move up the scale of consciousness. I talk about stages of consciousness. I have videos on that, and move up the scale of self-actualization. So if you're saying that, just release that because we do care about money. Money is important to us. And it allows us to be able to give back and do more, right? For the people that we care about, for people who Like I think about my children, I think about my grandchildren, like I think about generations ahead of me. And so, and I think about the people who are here, right? My nieces and my nephews and things like that. So it's like it's important to be honest and admit that you want these things. And I think that's a big step, right? Saying I want money, I want, and even like asking for it, right? Like I asked God for money, I asked Him to pay off my debts, I asked Him for financial freedom. And I want like a really big net worth, and I want to be able to do things from a place of overflow and abundance and not feel like I am in, um, like my back is against the wall. So that's what I want to start with. And so, where do I want to go with this next? I should have took some notes. But I kind of just wanted to flow with it. Okay, so let's start with mindset. So we have something in our brains called the reticular activating system. And this goes into how I've finally been like I've had momentum over the years and I've been using that to get me to this place, right? To where I'm finally calling in tens of thousands of dollars without me having to work for it. So the reticular activating system allows your brain to see certain things, and your brain literally looks for things, right? So let's say you grew up a certain way and you're expecting maybe for people to abandon you, right? So your brain is going to search for ways for you to see if something is unsafe. You're going to be hyper vigilant. You're going to be looking for people to leave you, to abandon you, or things like that. So that's what the reticular activating system does. It looks for patterns. It essentially, like your brain is always trying to keep you safe. Or another example is like if I say, don't think of a pink elephant, right? Your brain is going to immediately think of a pink elephant because that's what the reticular activating system does. It makes you think of the thing. Like you can't say, oh, I don't want something, because then you're going to essentially manifest that and bring that into your reality and only see that. So that's another part of manifestation. Don't say what you don't want, say what you do want. But it's like your brain is always working to see the things that it believes. And so when I first started like doing money inner work and working on like my relationship with God, having more faith, like this all is connected, right? So faith, trust, surrender, detachment, your relationship with God, your relationship with money, like this inner work really is all encompassing and touches many different areas of your life. And I also talked about that in another one of my videos that I'll link, which talks about relationship anxiety and like how that even connected to like money and like, God and like all these other relationships, right? But I think it was maybe in 2023, and I was out in LA, and everyone was walking down the street, and there was just a dollar sitting there. And I was like, does no one else see that? And I just ran over and I grabbed it. And I'm like, thank you, God. Mind you, we're on the Hollywood Star Walk. We have like, there's so many people, and of course, and they're all looking down, right? Like, there's stars all on the ground, so everyone's looking down. And so I'm literally crossing the crosswalk. I see the dollar and I'm like, okay. And I go pick it up. I'm like, it must be for me. And so at that point, I started thinking like, I'm a lucky girl, right? And so this this is how the reticular activating system in the brain works. A lot of people could have thought that and just said, oh, it was a one-off thing. Me, I was like, oh, this is evidence for my brain, for my body, for my mind, for my spirit, for my nervous system, that I don't have to exchange time for money. Money can just come to me easily. It can come from anywhere, right? So just this year, I found $20 on the ground randomly. And at this exact same time, I might have told the story already, but I was walking with my sister and her boyfriend, and we were going to go out and I was going to pay for everything. We were going to have a good night. So we're in the parking garage, and I just saw 20 on the ground. I said, oh, period. It must be for me. Doop, 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 and picked it up. And right before this all happened, we were on the phone and she was like, oh, like, I'm just a broke college student. And so I used that as evidence. I said, look, do you see this? Don't ever say that you're a broke college student. And me knowing the mindset implications behind that, your brain is only going to affirm that identity, right? I talk a lot about embodiment and identity work. Your brain is going to affirm this. So stop claiming things that don't align with the identity that you want. Like whatever goes after I am, like I am broke. Like never say those words. I don't even like saying it. Ill. I rebuke it, right? Like I don't even like saying those words. I don't say the B word. I don't say the P word. Poor. Like I'm not poor. I'm not broke. I'm not struggling. Like I even stopped saying, I kept saying like, oh, I'm tired. I'm like, no, I'm not tired. I have energy. And if I'm sleepy, I'm gonna go to sleep. But like, no, I'm not tired. So it's like whatever you put after I am is really, really important because those are identity markers, right? And even if you think about like God, God is the I am. So whatever word you put behind that, whatever spells, whatever you're speaking over your life is so important, especially about your identity, right? Like I am is so important. Like you don't understand. It's literally foundational to your identity. If you want to know more about identity work, you can look into mindset mastery. But and also just like more mindset stuff, right? And just it's really all encompassing. I do mindset, I do like the spiritual embodiment stuff, like feminine masculine energy work, but check out Mindset Mastery. But whatever you put after I am is super duper important. That determines your identity, right? So if you're saying I am a broke college student, you're like, that's the reticular activating system. All you're going to see is broke and struggle, and I don't have it, and I don't have money. And you're going to close yourself off essentially to opportunities for money. The money was in front of all three of us. We all could have seen it. And even when I picked it up, he was like, her boyfriend was like, oh no, I saw it first. And I'm like, no, you didn't. Like, please. And even so, you should have given it to, if he found it, he should have gave it to me anyway, because I was paying for everything. But it's fine. I digress. But it's like you couldn't see it, and people don't see it because they only feel like I have to work hard for money. I have to exchange time for money. Once you disconnect time for money, your life will change. Like I've seen so many different opportunities like in my businesses. Like I'm not looking for more one-on-one clients. I'm not looking for more ways to exchange time for money. I'm looking legacy. I'm looking long term. I'm looking to set up systems that disconnect my time from my money, and that's when money becomes what my mentor calls like cloud money, right? It gets to multiply, it gets to compound exponentially. Excuse me, it gets to compound exponentially because you're disconnecting time from money, right? We're in the 3D, we're limited. Like my time will always be limited because we only have 24 hours in a day, and hopefully I live till 100. But either way, that's still limited time. Once you disconnect time from money, that's when God can click in and like compound your money exponentially. Really, this is like a mini masterclass. Wow, this is great. Give me 1 second. So, once you disconnect time from money, you will start to see money everywhere. You're like, instead of thinking I have to work hard for money, money, when you see it in a linear fashion, when it's like, okay, I know, like it makes sense, right? It makes sense mentally when you're saying, okay, I put in this many hours, I'm getting this much paycheck. If it makes sense mentally, you have not clicked into like limitless money yet. If it makes sense, like, okay, I put in this much work, it makes sense. Like me, I'm like, wow, like the money that I'm getting right now doesn't make sense. Like it's just like it's not like I mean, it makes sense because I know the inner work I've done, but it doesn't make sense in the fashion of I've put in a certain amount of hours, or like like a lot of other people are doing the work. God's doing the work. Things are happening in the ether. Things are happening like, I've planted the seeds, but God is like growing the thing. And now it's just like manifesting. And I'm like, oh, beautiful. Like, like it's a money tree. It's just growing, it's sprouting. The fruits are coming to pass. And like now I'm getting to enjoy the fruits, right? Because of the inner work that I've been doing. But it's like, it's not that it makes sense. It's not like I've been cultivating it and just doing like I've just been watering it. And that's all I've been doing. And then God's like, it's like I'm doing the work. Let's say I'm doing like 100% of the work like spiritually, and I'm doing almost none of the work physically. I'm not working super hard. I'm not like I'm just doing what feels in alignment to me. And so it's like God can click in at that point because he's doing like it's like if I'm doing 100% of the inner work, and I'm doing like the God work, the spiritual work, and then he's doing 100% of his part like he always is doing, then that's when you start to see it like, oh, this money doesn't make sense, but I'm glad I have it. Thank you, God. And it just helps you more with attachment. It helps you more with your faith. It helps you more with surrender and being like, wow, like I actually am supported. And so, what else do I want to talk about with mindset? I talked about the reticular activating system. Um, oh yeah, I want to tell more stories about how I've just been like using the money that I'm getting and finding as evidence of the momentum that I have, right? Like I'm using this as evidence for my brain, for the reticular activating system, that I am making easy money and that easy money can come to me. So I found the $20. I use that as evidence, and I said, don't ever say that before. Like, don't say that ever again in your life, right? Like, don't say that you are broke anything. Like, you are not poor, you're not broke, you're not struggling. Throw that identity out. Like, you don't need it anymore. So that was another time that I had money. Then I was outside of Dollar Tree because I love Dollar Tree. I was outside of Dollar Tree. That's where I get like all my good waters. If you see like the big blue waters that are like alkaline, the best waters. But yeah, so I'm outside of Dollar Tree. Mind you, they would have appreciated that money outside of Dollar Tree, okay? Because a lot of people like they'll sit outside of Dollar Trees or like gas stations, like they want money, right? Or they're like they feel like they need it, or they want money, right? They're asking for it. So I looked down and I'm like, oh, $5. Boom, picked it up. I'm looking around like, is this anybody's? Like me, I'm like, oh, it must be for me. Like that's how I feel. I'm like, oh, no one's around. No one notices it. The money must be for me. So I pick it up, $5. I put it, I think, in maybe a couple videos back, the picture of it. And I'm like, oh my God, my affirmations are working because I had another affirmation in my studio and it said something about like money comes to me abundantly, easily, effortlessly, something like that. And I'm like, I'm always affirming this in my mind. I'm always affirming and using whatever I have now as evidence. And that's one thing that I notice people don't do. They don't use the things that are there. Like they'll look at it as a fluke. They'll look at it as a one-off. They'll look at it as like, oh, like it was just luck, but not like I am a lucky girl. I am a lucky guy. I am a lucky person. They're like, oh, that was just luck. As opposed to using that as evidence to gain momentum for like evidence that you can make money easily. So that is what I use it for. I use it as evidence that like money comes to me easily. I am supported by God. I am supported by the universe. And sometimes it's easier for one sector of your life than the other, right? Like sometimes I struggle with relationship anxiety and like, not feeling fully loved or supported in certain situations just because of like childhood stuff. But it definitely that's something I'm working on, right? But and have been working on, and like now that I posted about like how I've like gone no contact and things, and like it's helping me heal on deeper layers and it's helping me shed more. So it's like now the more that I shed, the more I'm able to receive like my partner's love and just like feeling more loved and worthy and supported, like, just for who I am, right? So sometimes it's easier for one section than the other, right? Sometimes you might struggle in your health, sometimes you might struggle in relationships, sometimes you might struggle with money, but it's all learnable, right? It's all learnable, it's all teachable. So this is something that I've used as like evidence. Like I'm using, and you can use this process, like hint, hint with everything, right? Like I'm using this process to help me in my relationships. I'm building up evidence. Like, yes, I am supported. I am loved. I am worthy because God deemed me as worthy, right? Like he put me on this earth with a purpose, right? So I'm using that in my relationship area. Now I'm using this exact same process with money. Like I'm using this as evidence that I am worthy, that I am supported, that I am divinely supported and guided and like held. So it's just beautiful. Like use the things that you already have and this is something that people just miss. Like you just might not register the abundance in your nervous system yet. And that's what I'm noticing with like relational things, right? Now that I'm like going into deeper levels of healing, registering the things that you already have, that you already see, and using that as evidence in your brain, in your reticular activating system, that you are whatever you're trying to affirm. You are rich, you are supported, you are able to make money easily, you are loved, you are held, you are seen. Like using this exact same process to allow yourself to like quantum leap and expand exponentially and infinitely in whatever area that you're wanting to. So I used all these different evidences as evidence, as supporting documentation that I am financially abundant and supported. And so in that, I started coming across new opportunities in ways that other people might not have seen, right? Just how they didn't see the money on the ground. I've come across ways of me bringing more money into my life in easier ways, detaching my time from money, like getting more, like selling more products, selling more, just things that aren't like a service, like a one-to-one service that is going to connect my time to the cash, right? And so doing that is so transformative and it really allows you to work in the field, work in the quantum, and allow yourself to compound money in ways that other people aren't even seeing because their brain isn't unlocked to that possibility yet.